guys, welcome back everyone, welcome back to another weekend edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 82, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. I'm a coach live VIP, and with me enjoyed by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome and all. This lovely Thursday morning. Of course, last night we were live with the GSL. We were also live with PiGosaur Cup 83 last night as well. But if you recall, last week we actually missed out on PiGosaur Cup 82. We didn't miss out on it. Usually we do cover PiGosaur Cups live, but we did miss out on last week's events. We're here to catch up. We're here to catch up with our tournaments, catch up with the PiGosaur Cup, and catch up on those otherwise missed games that we did not quite be able to cover. Let us go. So this is going to be a replay cast from last week's tournament. Bear that in mind. So these matches are going to be around a week old, but we are still going to be able to feature some fun, fancy new TLMC maps. True. That's what really matters most here, is featuring those TLMC maps to be able to see how our players do kind of like divulge into them, with how they explore them as well, and whether we get to see anything new, anything fancy. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. We're going to be jumping into the semifinals. Our first matchup here is going to be a TvP between ByuN and Gerald. When it comes to the rest of our weekly schedule, of course, later on tonight we're going to be live with GSL. We have the GSL Group B, that's going to be later on this evening, of course, and then tomorrow we'll be live with the code for Giants Cup as well. We'll get there. We will get there. Otherwise, let's jump in. Let's jump into our Terran versus Protoss matchup, into ByuN versus Gerald of all players. Now, if you remember, we did cover Gerald during the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Gerald did emphasize that he was very unfamiliar with the TLMC maps, as he was very inactive over the past couple of weeks. But great to see him back, great to see him return, and we'll see how he does showcase himself here on these new maps. Let's go. As spawning is up the hand corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is it is Gerald. You can tell I'm still waking up back. Yeah. Let's have a look in. We will lock in. So we calm down, we settle into Rainfall. For this, remember, Rainfall is one of the smaller maps of the map. Well, smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is going to be favored here on Rainfall, and we'll see how aggressive ByuN plans on being. I know that ByuN, he does often kind of like to mix in mid-game base play instead of all-ins, and go for timing attacks and try to gain momentum that way instead. ByuN has his own different approach to TvP. Likewise, he also does like to mix in, say, racks into tech lab based play, into early Marauder production, or 3-rack sim timings, or even going for 3cc 3-racks as well. So we'll see what ByuN does bring to the table here against Gerald. Let's go. Let us go. When it comes to the changes that we've seen from Rainfall, I believe it's mainly just been visual changes. The rain is less heavy than it once was. You know, there aren't any massive puddles of water. We were told that it was disrupting some of just the visual aspect of the map itself, and it was difficult to really see things and difficult to really recognize what's going on, especially with creep. So it did turn down the water, turn down the rain. Still raining, but not as much as it once was. True. Meanwhile, speaking of Tech Lab into Marauder, so we get here, racks into Tech Lab into Marauder. Okay, now what's important is that Gerald, he just scouted. Gerald, he went across the map, he was able to scout and confirm with his probe. Now the question becomes, behind this, do we go 3cc 3-racks, do we go for 3-racks, do we go for a 2-on-1, do we go for a 1-on-1? ByuN is very fond of doubling down and throwing down extra racks alongside this to go into a stim timing, but eyes are on ByuN. At least when it comes to initial Marauders, ByuN shouldn't get much done here. Gerald shouldn't be active, as he is aware of the Marauders popping out, and now, of course, confirms. Does confirm. And the Zealot is going to be shut down. We'll delay the CC somewhat. Yeah, we get a bit of a delay. Here. At the same time, we do have ByuN claiming his factory, going for not an additional 3rd CC, but he's going for a 2nd racks though. Okay, so still very aggressive. Meanwhile, hello Gerald, what is the plan? Does veer towards left hand side, but is coming in for a scout. Now, based on the production setup here, this is looking like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. Why do I say that? Well, ByuN is going to be delaying his starport. There's a world where he throws down a third racks. So racks into factory, into second racks, into third racks before starport to prioritize stim, combat shields, and a bio setup. And that is not a third racks, that is a starport. This is a 2-on-1. Okay, this is a little bit different here. 2-on-1s are not unheard of in TvP, but they are still a little bit rarer. They're obviously more common against Zerg, a little bit rarer here against Protoss, and we'll see if ByuN can get away with this. Meanwhile, I was curious if this was for a proxy Dark Shrine, and it is going to be for the proxy. Dark Shrine is back at home, but DTs are on the way. Now, we have seen Gerald actually defeat ByuN with DTs before. Like, that's very vivid in my mind. We've seen it happen before. Can he do it again? If ByuN's if he mules at the wrong moment, if he does not have a scan available, then this can get very, very out of hand and out of control. Again, we have seen ByuN insta GG to DTs from Geralt in the past. So cheeky move, Dark Shrine is finishing. And do we have a scan? Okay, so we have soon to be 40 MG on the natural. We just went for a mule here in the main base, so there's soon to be a scan at that natural expansion, but I believe the DTs will be hitting a little bit later here. Yeah, Dark Templar warping in. There's a high chance we mule. 50. He's got the energy. Does he mule? Do we scan? Do we hold on? DCs are welling in. Ooh, very quick scan here by ByuN. Again, he had one scan available here at the natural. If he had muled, if we had waited a little bit longer, then there would not have been a scan, and that would have been disastrous. But ByuN notices. Whew. That was noticed. Does respond. That was his only scan, by the way. Second DT arrives. The turret is on the way. We still need a little bit more time for a scan here, and this is getting out of hand. All the Marines are going down. The turret is going to be delayed. Oh, can we finish it? Can we finish? We have a scan. There we go. Does barely finish in time. Mash repair on the rack on the turret, and with that, ByuN holds. ByuN does hold on. At the same time, across the map, it looks like we were able to get 4 probe kills. Not bad at all. So nice counter damage being dealt here by ByuN. ByuN, he also saves one of the winter mines. Did lose the other. As was actually 3 mines across the map. And with that, ByuN holds, he defends, and now he can look to move out with his upgrades. Just wrapping up stim, combat shields, +1. Still, of course, just waiting for his upgrades. Once they kick in, then we can move out. At the same time, ByuN, he does go for another drop across the map, killing 1 probe. 1 probe goes down. Gerald getting up to 3 base saturation, staying on a very low gas count, warping in mainly zealots. And ByuN is waiting for his medevacs. Once they pop out, then we can start to push. Just waiting for said medevacs. ByuN, he will scout the 3rd. Boosting to the natural. Reacting in time. And ByuN is breaking out. It is now go time. +1 is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. We go stim, we go combat shields. So we get some more mine harass here into the bases. That doesn't make it home. And instead of ByuN going for a main frontal assault, he's going for a split push here. So double jump towards the main base. You have the main army here in the center. 3rd CC gets run down, so ByuN is not going for a 2-base all-in. ByuN is quite committed. Still quite committed. Jumps into the main base, catching at the pylon. Devouring gateways. Not bad. Illuminated anti-air gets 3 pylons, and the medevacs take it away. Again, limited gas income because of that, limited stalkers. ByuN can really pick up and move out. Let's push. Pushing to the center. That's a little bit of win. 6. Yeah, 6 mines is set up. Not going to be easy for the Zealots to engage here. As Wood Mines are repositioning. Show some mine shots. Ooh. Get brutal connections. We drag one of the mines, but the rest of the Zealots, they just go down. Yeah, they just melt here before the PiGosaur army. We stim and we win as we can hold on. 0 splash damage and just not enough charge lots. We're warping in 7 more Zealots to get focused down as they're warping in. GG gets called and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG well played. Again, ByuN, he was able to build up back at home, defend well enough against the Dark Templar, against the harassment, build up into his eventual move out with his upgrades, his timing, stim, combat shields +1, and his medevacs as well. When it came to Gerald's defense, unfortunately, he did need more damage to be dealt by the Dark Templar. And the other thing, the other big factor, of course, is that he was intentionally staying on a low gas count to avoid any tech, to avoid splash damage, which did make it a little bit more difficult to defend against that initial timing. We saw a lot of Zealots and Zealots that can do well for themselves, but we need to overwhelm, right? We need to overwhelm with charge lots and surround and lock them down to make sure they cannot kite away. That's not the case here. GG. GG well played. Solid move out there from ByuN as we load into game number 2. Going to be loading into Defender's Lab. Okay. Going to be loading into a bit of a more defensive map of the map pool, longer rush distance by grounds. This map typically should be favoring mid-game play, but I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too much mid-game on Defender's Lab. Let's go though. Let's go. Let us jump on in. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Defender's Lab, we have the South Korean Terran player. Oh. South Korean Terran. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Let's go. So for now, we are going to be opening up. Again, welcome to the Defender's Lab. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable natural, 3rd and 4th expansion. As we do often say, though, there is an area here outside of the natural that is a little bit more accessible, that is more abusable, and that may come into play when it comes to run-bys, counterattacks, or aggressive rotations. That's something to bear in mind. Otherwise, the other big feature, of course, is we do have rocks all over the place, creating choke points, walling off the center of the map. It does allow for, again, a more secure defensive setup here, but we also have speed zones to counteract that, which I appreciate. These speed zones, they typically do favor rotations, aggressive rotations, so you can push in towards this angle here towards the natural, you can back off, you can rotate through the speed zones and heading over towards the 4th or towards the 5th base and rotate back and forth. Typically this does favor the aggressing player, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get that far. Likewise, eyes are on Gerald to see how he compares to ByuN currently. As I mentioned previously, Gerald, he's been very out of shape and very out of practice as of late, just focusing on other aspects of his life. I know that Gerald, he does have, it just doesn't work at a law firm, but he does have, you know, other aspects outside of just purely pro gaming that he does fixate on, other projects as well. So he hasn't embraced as much StarCraft as of late, but great to see him back nonetheless. Great to see. Quack, silence, quack. Any of this. As this time ByuN is not going for the Marauder. Okay, so no early tech lab, just going for reactor marine production into 1-1-1 into a 1-1-1 setup. No early Marauders, no early stim. Not this time. This time a much more standard opener, much more standard build. Calming down. From here, we should soon be getting into our tech of choice. Right, there we go. Twilight Council into Blink. 2 more gates get thrown down, so 3 gate Blink. Safe build here by Gerald. From here, Gerald can either throw down a Robo or just expand, depending on whether or not he wants to be safe or more greedy. Hallucination confirms 1-1-1. Gets hides in the add-ons. Gerald, he did not see the add-ons one. Still a little bit unawares. Wait, how many gateways are being turned down? Wait, what? 3 gates are on the way. 1's already done. We're going into 4 gate Blink Stalker here. Gerald, I'm a little bit confused. We're going 4 gate Blink, but there's no Robo. So there's no Prism across the map to harass and to warp in. Here we go. Drop into the natural. Denying mining, no major damage yet, but again, it's denying mining at least. Doesn't waste the Widow White shot. Ideally, he wants to spend the shot on a Stalker. Ooh, catching out 1 probe, picks up and pulls away. So 2 probe kills, nothing major here, just some lighter damage from ByuN as he pulls away. And again, without a Robo, I don't really see Gerald counterattacking. He's stuck at home, he's stuck defending. ByuN can build up. So with that, ByuN is building up on 2 bases. Demons on the way, +1. Eventually, combat shields. We have Gerald being somewhat active on the map, but again, there's no Prism, there's no way to reinforce. So a bit of an odd build here by Gerald. A little bit odd. So we are moving in. 2 probes at the natural. Drops into the main base. Once again, no major damage though. Thankfully, there is a battery in position. Despite that, still going to get a couple of probes. Oh my god. Still 4 probes going down. Barely not getting a 5th. Despite that, nice damage. And once again, Gerald, he is going to be going Blink in towards Charge with a bit of a lower gas count. Compared to the last game though, he does have 1 extra gas geyser with the natural, so he has a little bit of extra gas income. Oh, and we see why he's going for a faster bay. Faster bay, faster splash damage. This should be a more robust mid-game hit for Gerald. Remember last game, Gerald, he did invest quite heavily into Dark Shrine, which is one of the reasons why he had such limited tech and limited gas available to him. He's going for DTs. ByuN does keep harassing. Again, nothing major, just a couple of probes here and there, 1-2 workers. At the same time, back at home, ByuN throws in a 3rd CC, so we're building up into a longer mid-game. We're getting there. The mid game. ByuN does break out. Behind this, ByuN is posturing. Gerald, he's getting a faster disruptor. Interesting. So Colossus and disruptor. Alas, Gerald's out of position. He will lose the 4th. Let's try to engage. Ooh, into the mine shot. So the RV clumps. One of the tanks are on siege. ByuN gets caught out, and ByuN is forced to lift. Yeah, mess engage there from ByuN. It's a very nice wooden mine connections, but one of his tanks was caught unsieged. At the same time, drop it to the natural will cause a recall. And Gerald is holding. But he's keeping up, he's holding on, takes down one of the medevacs. ByuN moving back in, he gets spotted. ByuN, I'm sure he wants that 4th expansion. And once again, Gerald, he is not quite in position here. He recalled everything to the natural. TvP cancel. At the same time, does catch some reinforcements. Some decent mine connections. Base is left alone. We're collapsing of the Colossus. Oh no, we're exposed. No! Yeah, the army's exposed here. The Colossus barely gets away, but a messy rotation here from Gerald. Very messy. The base somehow survives, but Gerald, he barely has a standing army, down to 1 Colossus and a handful of gateway units. And ByuN just wants to keep pushing. Just wants to keep breaking out. Behind this, 3rd base getting up fully operational. ByuN has momentum, has a greater economy. Up in SCVs plus mules. Oof. And again, ByuN has too much. Takes down the final Colossus. Colossus goes down. We have a backup Colossi on the way. But there are just so many Marauders. Again, they're built to tank. He stays in, Bat. He stays in. Doesn't quite chase him down. Well, takes down the expansion anyway. That's all he wanted. Claims the 4th base. Dives on the Colossus. Again, low in HP. And with that, ByuN snowballs out of control. Initially, Gerald, he was doing a decent job when it came to keeping up with the aggression, but only up until a certain point. So GG, well played, and ByuN takes game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I was definitely impressed by Gerald initially here, where he was able to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression, but when Gerald started using recalls, I mean, then he was quite limited in where he was. Of course, he did not leave an army in position at the 4th base location. He was just torn apart, and we saw just a very messy defense out of Gerald, forcing mistakes, or ByuN forced mistakes out of Gerald, just as he was frantically trying to rotate between the bases, and GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, he'll claim game number 2, and now we're going to be loading into At Eternity's Edge, the 3rd game in the series. I'm hoping for a back and forth here, but again, it's been a bit of a rougher time here for Gerald. ByuN's been very active, very aggressive, different builds in both games, to be fair, but still very, very active. And I'm sure that trend will continue here. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of At Eternity's Edge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Go. And welcome to At Eternity's Edge. This is a bit of a larger map in the map pool. I believe it has a longer rush distance compared to Defender's Lab. But it has its own unique features, of course. We do have a nice little pocket area here inside of both main bases. This can be used to hide tech. It can be used to hide an aggressive drop, night display, for example. There's definitely different shenanigans you can go for here with the hidden area inside of each other's main. Likewise, we have our natural base, which is more standard. We have the entrance to the natural further out when it comes to the ramp itself, and we have a secure 3 and 4 base setup, potentially. We do have 2 different routes you can take when it comes to expanding. You can expand on the low ground, which can lead towards the gold, but these low ground expansions and bases are much more exposed, or you can expand on the high ground and push towards the high yield gas geyser base instead. Typically what we expect here in TvP is for Protoss players to take the low ground bases to eventually claim the gold. That does benefit Protoss heavily in this matchup, specifically when it comes to Mass Zealot. So you have seen Protoss players kind of move in that direction and take advantage of that. On the flip side, if the Terran player is forced to be contained, they can contain quite well here on 4 bases with extra resources, extra gas income. We have seen some mid to late game here on At Eternity's Edge. I still mean like 2 games maybe. Let's go. But now Twilight Council opener out of Gerald. Reaper does pick in. But again, no major damage. Again, we're expecting Twilight Council to blink. Technically, this could be a Dark Shrine, but we already saw that in game 1, and often you don't want to rely on that multiple times in the series. If this was a smaller map, then you can justify going for a charge base opener, but otherwise it should be blink. Likewise, ByuN once again going for its own 1-1-1. No fast marauders, no tech lab, no faster CC. Calming things down. As ByuN just pokes in, didn't go into a big commitment into Reaper Hellion, just 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion just having a small presence on the map, followed by his own drop. Okay, interesting. And going for a double Widowmine drop. Single even. Oh, there we go. I was curious where the other Widowmine was. Moving up with his job. Meanwhile, safe play out of Gerald's going 3 gate blink into a robot. Remember, the last game was 4 gate blink, which was a little bit more unorthodox out of Gerald's, considering how passive or defensive he was being. Oh. Hydra comes in, and Gerald should react in time. Oh, Jesus. Oh, the retargeting. Yeah, big delay on the mine shot. Meanwhile, second window mine into the main. Gerald, he does react in time. Ooh, and we don't get any probe kills, but we do get a sentry. So 1 probe with a natural, 1 sentry in the main base. Somewhat of a trade, and behind this, I don't know if you noticed, but for a moment, ByuN did begin Hyperfly Rotors. Instead, is opting to go for Liberators. Does go for a Liberator follow-up. Reaper Hellion unable to deny the expansion, but will pick up a probe. Let's find some value. Pulling away. Gerald, he does gain map control. But we're still waiting for ByuN's eventual move out. Now, no surprises here, as we mentioned at the beginning. Gerald, he is expanding here on the low ground, expanding away from ByuN. These bases are a lot more exposed. And we'll see how ByuN does move out. Whether he does hit the 3rd expansion or whether he just pushes straight into the natural. Let's go. ByuN is moving out. As he moves out, Gerald, he's aware of this. Gerald, he had control of the Zalnaga tower, so he does spot the push. Hermes getting ready. Charge is not done. Oh yeah, charge is not yet done. And if you remember, we saw this last night from Clement Cure. This is an early, almost anti-timing. Basically, this is hitting no stim. Like stim, combat shields, all the upgrades are still on the way, but that's why this hits so hard. It's very early. Punching the stalkers. Within range of the Nexus. Yo, trying to come in from behind. Oh, and the base may just go down. Massive pick up. Charge is going to finish up towards the end here. But cannot save the base. Yeah, the 3rd goes down. He had to engage earlier on. And ByuN is satisfied. Just pulls away. Kills the 3rd. Backs off. At this point, he can wait for his upgrades. Everything here is finishing up in a couple of seconds. And Gerald, he's behind. Straight up. He's miles behind here. Oh, does blink in. Blinks in. There he goes up. It's a good connection. Very nice. And connects with the tank. Collapsing on the bio. But it's still not enough. ByuN is stemming forward. Okay, Sims in, he's breaking through the main army. There is a Colossus on the way and that will help, but there's still just such a massive bio army to work with. Oof. And mine shots going off and no more zealots. He Sims on in. No, he depowers the rover. Yeah, the Colossus was the one chance that Gerald had. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series. Again, Gerald, he was looking a little bit more rough around the edges here when it came to the overall builds that we saw, and likewise a little bit out of the meta when it comes to some of these earlier attacks. This move out that ByuN went for has been very popular as of late. If you're watching GSL last night, both Clem and Cure went for these builds against Clem and against Classic respectively. And again, it's a weird, like, it's a really offbeat timing here when you move out across the map before your upgrades kick in, but you have your tanks at least available, and it does hit pre-charge. It does often hit when Protoss players are very unaware and unfamiliar. We saw it happen twice on Winter Madness, if you recall, and it hit very hard, and both times the third base was broken. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN, he will advance on. With that, so we're getting ready here for our next series. It's going to be another TvP featuring some of the other maps here. Ooh, it's been a while. I do appreciate that we get to see it here. It is going to be on Sanctuary 3, Percival versus Shameless. Let's go.